I work on it until my hands get too sweaty to work on it anymore. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is Birch and Lily, where I talk about all of the fun crafty goodness that I've been up to over the past couple weeks. Today is another fun, regular podcast episode. I have lots of fun stuff to show you. A couple finished objects. I don't think anything is new cast on, but I've got lots of progress. Before we jump on in, there are a few places you can find me on the internet. The main one is birchandlilyfiber.com. You can also find me on Instagram at birch.and.lily. Everything I talk about, including where you can find me, is all linked down below in the description of this video. So before we jump on into what I've been working on, finished objects, I just wanted to remind you that the special Skein KAL 2023 is still going on. Carson of Cardigan Handmade and I are hosting this knit along to basically use up any of those special skeins in your stash. I can't say I've been doing terribly well at it. I wound mine up, but I haven't cast anything on, so that's where I am. But I've seen so many fantastic posts from a bunch of you on Instagram showing us what you've cast on with your special skeins. If you're interested in joining us for this knit along, it runs until June 10th, so you still have a week or two left to cast something on, enter it. It doesn't have to be finished to be eligible for prizes. On that note, I totally forgot. I have a new prize that came in that I wanted to show you, so I better grab that. So Katie from Songbird Handmade was so kind, and she reached out to me and asked if we were looking for any more prizes for the knit along. She was like, if you already have a project bag for a prize, I won't send anything, don't worry about it. But I was like, no. You know what? Why don't you send another project bag over and I'll make a second large prize pack. So there are now going to be like two big huge prize packs. The one that Carson has already posted on our Instagram will be the one prize, and then what I'm going to show you is going to be the second prize, and then we have a whole bunch of digital pattern copies as well available. So there's so many prizes. So if you haven't entered something yet, check the information down below in the description on how you can enter, and make sure you do, because you don't have to finish a project and there's so many chances for prizes. So yeah. Katie was also so kind, and she sent two bags, and she said I could keep one and use one for the giveaway. So I thought I would show you both. And she has, I didn't realize, so many different styles of project bags, so I thought that was really cool too. But we'll start with the prize. So this beautiful project bag will be part of the prize. This is her tall zippered pouch. So it's just a wonderful, probably sock size. You could probably do like a hat or a 2 skein project in here. It's quite tall. And then I'm going to be including a skein of Jillian as well, which never shows up properly on camera, but it is like a beautiful pale pinky neutral. Actually, if I stick it in here, that gives you an idea of how big the bag is. So you could probably fit a good, at least 2, maybe even 3 skeins in here. So this is going to be another prize for the giveaway. It's such a well-made bag. Very, very cute. So like I said, make sure you enter, because Carson and I have so many fun prizes now. Also, I'll show you the bag that I decided to keep. If you've been around for a long time, I know I bring this up every once in a while, but the yard that my husband and I live in, we have about 1.5 acres of land, and it is full of squirrels. So when we first moved into our yard, we jokingly called it the squirrel sanctuary. So when I saw this project bag, I knew I had to keep it. I knew this one had to be mine. So what style is this? This is her small drawstring bag. Also kept it because I know for myself, I prefer a drawstring. I've zipped yarn up way too many times. I know people who love zipper bags, and they're great, and they're gentler with them than I am. Not me. So this is this small zippered bag, and I was so shocked when I opened this up to see, and hopefully I can show on camera here, that there's pockets inside. So there's like a larger pocket, and then a medium one, and 3 smaller ones that you could put like pins or something in. There you can kind of see. So there's the medium, and then the 3 smaller that you could put like pens and other things in, and then the larger pocket on this side. So I'm really excited. I might actually, one of the projects I'm working on today, I might switch over into this bag because the other bag is, not that it matters, but you can't get the other bag anymore, so I might as well show off this cutie and use it. So I think we'll do that. But yeah, thank you so much, Katie, for sending these over. I'm so excited to be able to include another prize for the make along, the knit along, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that is all I have for announcements. Let's move on into what I've been working on. I have 2 finished objects, actually. One of them I am wearing, so I will stand up really quick. So I think I've shown this in the past couple episodes, but this is my Suri shirt V-neck. This is a pattern I was testing for Caidree, and it's so beautiful. I wore this to church yesterday, actually, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It has a really cool V-neck in the back as well. Fits great. I always feel so awkward doing those standing shots, so we'll come closer now. So I knit the size large for this one. I think it calls for to come out as a 44-inch bust. I'm really happy with the fit of this. I know she had said the pattern kind of calls for a little bit tighter of a fit. I think anywhere from 0 to like 2 inches of positive ease, but I'm glad I went with the 4. I really like how it fits me, and it just gives me a little bit more room in the bust and just everywhere. I don't know, it's really comfy. I like the fit. I knit this out of Birchandlily Fiber Co. Birch sock in the colorway Serendipity, and I only used, I haven't even weighed my skeins to be honest, but I think I used maybe about 2.5 skeins. Do I have, yeah, this is all I have left, so I would say for sure 2.5 skeins of yarn for the size large, so not bad at all for a summer top. And it was really fun to knit. I will say the ribbing was a slog. There's a lot of ribbing because you have like this super big V-neck in the front and the back. I think this had, for my size, almost 300 stitches that I was picking up to work this, so that's a lot of ribbing. It is 2x2 ribbing throughout, so then there you have the ribbing on the sleeves, and there's the split hem on the bottom, and the back of the split hem is longer, and it's knit, at least my size was knit to almost 5 inches, so that's a lot of ribbing for, I believe this is a 26 stitch gauge. It's a lot of ribbing. But I did learn a new thing knitting this, which I'm not sure I'll do again, but I'm glad I learned it. I learned how to do a tubular or Italian bind off on a 2x2 rib. I'm glad I learned it, but I had heard people talking before, and I don't know if maybe you can even see it on this sleeve, about how it kind of tilts off to the one side, and I don't like how that looks. It's fine. It is what it is. It's barely noticeable. I'm the only one who knows on this, but I don't think I would do it again for that reasoning. I don't like how it tilts, but I learned. The neckline is finished off with an I-cord, so that looks nice and neat. It's just the 2x2 Italian bind off on the hem of the garment and the cuffs of the sleeves. So yeah, I'm glad I learned it. I'm glad I know how to do it now, but I don't think it's something I would do again. I much prefer how an Italian bind off looks on a 1x1 rib, so I think if it were to be called for again, I would either switch the ribbing all to 1x1 or just not do it and bind off with like a stretchy bind off instead. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think the fit is great. Like I said, I wore it to church. It was super comfy, not too warm. I haven't worn a lot of knit tees in the summer yet, so it was interesting to test this out and kind of see how I felt in it, and I really wasn't too warm. It was about, I would say 22 degrees when I left for church in the morning, so I feel like that went over pretty well. I'm realizing now as the terrible podcaster that I am, did I say this is the Suri shirt v-neck? I might have said the name of it, but the designer is Caidree. Her name is Sabina, and she makes beautiful patterns. If you like this, she has so many other classic pretty patterns, so definitely check her out. Anyways, that is that, but I do have a second finished object. This one, when I was looking at it this morning, I realized I missed weaving in a couple ends on it, so if you see those, disregard. I won't put this on today. I'll wear it closer to the release date. I'm wearing the Suri shirt mostly because I think it's supposed to release on May 30th. Don't quote me on it, but I will obviously post on my Instagram when it's ready to release and all that sort of fun stuff. Actually, May 30th is the day this is going live, so if it's live, it will be linked down below in the description, like the pattern page for it on Ravelry will be linked if it's live already. So check there if you don't have Instagram. Anyways, second object I finished is my Marigold tee. So this is a pattern coming soon from Winter's Weather Knits. I'll slide back a little bit so I can show a bit more of it. There we go. So yeah, it's done. This is, here's a prime example of what a 1x1 Italian, or this was a cast on, but still, it looks way neater and it doesn't tilt. So that's my preference. But yeah, this is done. I took photos of it yesterday, so they'll be ready when release day comes around. And yeah, it's different from anything I've ever created. The construction of it is so unique. So if you're looking for something a little bit different and you want to kind of test your skills, I think this is a great way to do it. Like, you start on one side and you work across the front, I think, and then you start a new piece and you work across. It's very complicated. I don't want to give too much away because it is a paid for pattern, but it definitely kept me on my toes. I honestly had no idea I knew what I was doing, but I had no idea how it was going to fully come together. I couldn't picture it in my mind until it was done. So yeah, I think it's beautiful. I haven't fully figured out how I want to wear it yet. When I took my photos yesterday, I did have it just over top of a dress, and while I liked it, I don't think it was my favorite. I have seen some of the other testers style it just tucked, like with a French tuck, into a pair of jeans, and I think that's going to be how I want to try wearing it next. It definitely needs like a shirt under it. It's quite see-through, but I think with like a camisole underneath and then French tucked into a pair of jeans, it could be quite cute. This I'm proud of. I did mattress stitch the whole side, both sides of this garment. It definitely, I would say, looks more noticeable because the fabric is so airy, but the stitches themselves are really neat, and I don't mind the seam detail that it gives. I think it kind of adds something to it. Yeah. So did I say I knit the size large for this one as well? I did have a couple issues with gauge, so it did come out a little bit wider than the pattern called for, but I really don't notice it that much once it's on me. Like the sleeves still end up hitting about where they should, so yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. This was my first foray into knitting with cotton and linen. So the blue that I used here is from Woolyknit. It's one of their cones. They're 100% cotton cones in the color Pale Mint. And then the lighter color that I used here is from Holst Garn. This is their Coast base. It's a mix of lamb's wool and cotton. Yeah, so why did I say I was knitting with linen? Oh, because the color of this is linen. Sorry. So I only knit with cotton. Or cotton was the only new thing I knit with. So the Holst Garn Coast is a mix of lamb's wool and cotton. And the color is linen. So yeah, happy with this. Like I said, I'll wear it closer to the release date. I'm not 100% sure when that's going to be yet, but it should be soon. Okay, should we move on to works in progress? The first one that I wanted to show you, I'm quite excited about. I'm finally making progress on it and it looks beautiful. This bag here is from Jenna Rose Handmade, and it is housing my Maybury cardigan. This is a pattern I'm testing for Amy Lowden, and it's starting to look like a cardigan. It's kind of squished on these needles. I have some bigger ones in the bag. I just haven't switched it over to them yet, but we'll try and stretch this out the best I can. So here is my Maybury cardigan. I spent one day, like one whole day this week working on it because I just wanted to get a little further and see what in the world was going on. So that's where I was last week, where that progress keeper is. That is backwards because I'm knitting it this way. Here, I'll show it like that. So that progress keeper is from Denim and Rain. Super cute. And these guys are stitch stoppers. They're in my shop. Maybury cardigan is well underway. This has been so much fun. I'm learning new things with this one too. It's knit fully in Fisherman's rib, which I've never done before, and I think looks so squishy and beautiful. And then the button band on this is a double knit button band, which I've also never done. So it's all knit at the same time. You can see it's all the stitches for it are on the needle, but if I go like this, like it's not connected. It's like one tube, but you're knitting it all at the same time. So I don't know. I've been having a lot of fun with this. I feel like I'm learning a lot of new things. It's definitely going slowly. The Fisherman's rib is a slog, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end. This colorway is going to be in the shop eventually. I'm not releasing the name just yet because I feel like it will give the collection away, and I want to keep that to myself. I'm hoping now. I talked about last episode how I was feeling some shoulder pain. I'm all good, all better, got it figured out. So I'm ready to start dyeing up the collection. I just need to actually go and do it. So that should be happening soon, and then you'll be able to learn the name of this colorway. I am knitting the size 5 for this one. It's definitely going to be a larger, squishier garment. I was kind of waffling between the 4 and the 5 for this one, but I decided I would rather it be a little bit bigger than too small. So that's where I am with my Maybury cardigan. Coming soon from Amy Lowden. She used to be known as Little Tailoress. I think she's now Tailoress Studios on Instagram and YouTube. And next we will jump into my resource Raglan. This one has been my main focus lately because it's the one that has the soonest deadline. And I feel like I've got a lot done on this. I think I'm going to knit a full length body on this, so I've got to get from the underarm split to about 12 to 12.5 inches, and I'm getting there. Let's back up. This is my resource Raglan. It's a pattern that's coming soon from Sarah Opie. It's going to be a resource for every single possible way you could knit a Raglan sweater. So I have chosen to do a ribbed v-neck, and then I think I'm going to do a split hem on it, and I'm going to do full length sleeves and kind of just make this a super classic cozy sweater. I'm knitting this out of Birch and Lily Fiber Co. Birch DK in the Mauvelous color, and I love how it's knitting up. The speckles are so perfect and delicate. Yeah, it's really pretty. Last time, this will show you how much I've been working on it. I was where that progress keeper is, which also is flipped. That is from Apollonie. It was sent to me, but I do, whoops, it's gonna keep flipping because again, I'm knitting the garment in the opposite direction I'm holding it right now. Beautiful, beautiful progress keepers. She's based out of France and she works with her mom, and they make all of these pretty notions together. So that is on there. And yeah, I think today is the day I'm filming this is Memorial Day. It's a holiday, and so I think I'm going to bring this because it's pretty mindless. I can just knit in circles and not have to worry about it too much and hopefully get lots done. So yeah, that's my resource Raglan. This should be coming out soon as well if you have been waiting. And let us switch my final project into that cute squirrel bag while I'm thinking about it. Let's move this over. It was in a project bag that the person who makes them doesn't make them anymore, or who made it doesn't make them anymore. So I would rather use a project bag that I can show off to you. So this is my Subalpine cowl. I haven't worked on this in a while, but again, this one's coming up due. So this has kind of been my workout project. It's really easy to pick up and set down, shockingly, with it being color work, but I work on it until my hands get too sweaty to work on it anymore. And then, yeah. So Subalpine cowl, this is coming soon-ish from Lindsey Fowler, and it's just a really beautiful color work cowl. If you knit her Taiga socks pattern, the color work on here I have found is quite similar to that, so if that's something you like, you would probably like this cowl. The yarn that I'm using, the lighter color is from Birch and Lily Fiber Co. This is Wanderlust. It's like a gray with all sorts of fun speckles. And then the darker is our charcoaly sort of color called Graphite. These are in the shop too. They're huge, but I love them. They're just so cute. Anyways, yeah, I've been working on this. Color work moves so quickly. I think just because it's so fun. Like, you feel like it shouldn't move quickly because you're picking up and dropping yarn so often. But it looks great, and it's working up relatively quickly, and it's not a terribly large project, so I'm not too worried about that. So, yeah. I really don't have tons to say about it, but working away on that as well. I'm slowly starting to get through my backlog of too many test knits, and then I will be in a better place, so that's good. I can't get over this bag. It's so cute. Thank you. Okay, so that is pretty much everything I have to talk about this episode. Keep it shorter and sweeter because I have to edit this before we go and do some stuff this afternoon and get it uploading for Tuesday. But I do want to let you know, as I do usually now with these videos, let you know what's coming next week. I haven't fully decided yet, but it's definitely going to be a video for scrap yarn because looking at the craft room lately, goodness, do I have a lot of scrap yarn kicking around. So I'm going to be pulling some sort of scrap yarn patterns. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it specifically to like a style, if it's going to be socks or something, or if I'm just going to pull a whole bunch of fun scrap projects, blankets I could do. So if you're here at the end still, you might as well let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see scrappy project-wise. And yeah, that will be coming to you next week. Otherwise, I hope you had a wonderful long weekend, if it's a long weekend where you are, enjoyed some sunshine, and yeah, if you liked what you saw today, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. It helps the channel out a lot, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!